Took the legs out of the clamps and they're a bit messy, so time to remill them. I'm gonna go over to the joiner, run through that, and then run through the planer. I got all the legs milled up, so they're about 2 inches square. And this would have been a little bit easier if I would have had 12-quarter material. I could have just milled it down and went from there, but I didn't have anything that thick. So instead what I did was I went with 4-quarter material, glued up the pieces together, and the way the grain runs, you can barely tell. You would have to really, really stare at it to tell that there are 3 boards here. It actually all kind of blends into one. So now the legs are done, it's time to work on the aprons. So this table is going to be 48 inches long. I need top aprons, and then it's kind of a shelf, so I need a bottom apron too. So I'm going to take this board here, get all my pieces out of this, and I should be able to get the side aprons too. We'll see. The table is going to be held together with Mortise and Tenon joinery, so I need to make sure that I line everything up and lay it out properly. Now, one thing that really helps me is having a couple different combination squares that I can set whenever I'm marking my mortises. And I also have a couple of these brass blocks here, these little measuring blocks. They're not that expensive, but they are super handy for something like this or over at the router table. What do you think you're doing? I am laying out mortises. Why? What's up? But I thought we had a bond. But I used you the last time I built a walnut table. And I thought it would be fun to do some traditional Mortise and Tenon joinery. But I'm quick and easy. Well, you said it, not me. Do you have any idea how long it takes to do stop animation? Yeah, I didn't think so. New day in the shop, a little tired. I got my coffee, so I think I can power through. We made all of the top aprons for this table, and it took a little bit longer than what I really wanted to do. Shut up. But that's okay, because making traditional mortise and tenons is fun. So not a big deal. Now I got to work on the bottom part. And the way this table is constructed, it's going to have a shelf at the bottom of it. So I have long aprons that are in the front and the back. On the sides though, instead of doing short aprons, it's actually going to be breadboards. That way the shelf can go into the breadboard. So I need to make mortises that are vertical on the front and the back, but horizontal on the sides. After the whole thing's constructed, I will add another piece onto the bottom of this breadboard to ensure this is the same thickness as the front and the back aprons, and then you won't be able to tell. It all looks seamless. Well, I dry assembled the table and it looks pretty good. So now it's time to assemble it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each of the sides with the side aprons and the breadboards. I'm going to glue those together. Once it dries, then I'll connect the whole thing to the long aprons and the shelf. I've got the legs glued up, but before I attach both sets of legs together, I'm going to take my aprons and I'm going to route out notches on the inside faces. The reason I'm going to do that now is because it's much easier to do it now before I assemble it, but those are going to be spaces that I can then take wooden fasteners and stick in the notch and attach the tabletop and the shelves to the aprons. So I'm going to go ahead and route those out now. I'm going to use the domino for that. You can also use a biscuit joiner for that, or just a router if you wanted to. And after I get everything assembled, then I can go back and I can add my wooden buttons. After a ton of sanding, we need a tabletop, so I should probably make that. Yeah.